Cindy Chan-Phillips is with the New York Beef Council. Good morning, Cindy. How are you?
Morning, Bill. Good morning, Andrew. Very nice to see you.
Good to see you. You're in here. And by the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're a school board member.
I am a full-term school board education board member. Very, very proud.
But ask you.
I just got a call. The vending machines are gone already? Is that what happened?
Wait a minute. I haven't had my first official board meeting. Don't rush things here,
Now,
Jeff.
there was a time that there was a movement going on in New Hartford where they were trying to do, and somebody was doing meatless Mondays. Mm-hmm. What a crime. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts is all of the decisions have to be based on what are in the best interests of the students. You're serving a wide body of student body, athletes, different age group, and different age groups has different nutrition needs. And what about athletes? They certainly need the protein and the calories to fuel their workout. My sons were on the wrestling team, so we really have to look at things in totality.
Did you let them lose weight? By the way, I love the coaches over there. They are awesome. Did you let them lose weight?
Bill, as I'm speaking as a mom, I have a little heartache. I have to tell you that. Seeing these are the students that are at the rapidly growing phase. There should be anabolic phase. They should be adding on.
And you know, it's the rules today are very strict as opposed to when I was in school. It was like you'd put garbage bags on. You wore a garbage bag because you didn't buy a sweatsuit. And I remember you get a tarp. 3 pounds over, you get a tarp. Sit at the old radiators in Mohawk High School and have garbage bags on and just sit underneath that radiator and just sweat off 3 pounds.
Well, restricting nutrients at a rapidly growing phase, it's always problematic as far as I'm concerned. And I believe that the guidelines from the authority, I think, are not recommending making weight. So that's something that I'm always stand on the side of.
Mom, you don't know what you're talking about. For God's sakes, we're just fine. And in our house, it was like, how could you, my mother, could you make spaghetti on a night before a match? Why would you do this to me? And then I'd go the next morning and I'd have 2 gym bags. One would be a gym bag filled with spaghetti, and the other one would be my gym clothes. Right after certification, you'd get 3 pounds, and I'd usually put on 4 and have to drop a pound by the end of the day. So it's an issue with wrestling, and
I understand. I understand where the motivation comes from.
It's a great sport.
Every coach wants the team to do well, but at the end of the day, I'm a mom and a public health practitioner first. I'm always standing on the side of the interests of the students.
I know we're
talking about nutrition,
talking about school stuff, but also the issue of when you're new. You work on the robotics coach. You've been a coach over for the robotics team over there.
That's right. It's 8 years. I have a group of high school kids and junior high school kids in my basement building robots.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's really, really cool.
And I'm sure you serve them great food, I can imagine.
I do my best, but I tell you, teenagers are very stubborn. They eat what they want to eat.
They do. And they eat a lot.
I'm sorry?
They eat a lot.
Yeah, yes.
Holy moly.
Yes, a lot of food needs to goes to fuel the brains of these teenagers.
That's right.
Well, they can handle, as long as we make that transition. There's a certain age where the transition needs to be made, which I always struggled with. So
I figured that out about 2 years ago, I think.
As you get older, it's easier.
Metabolism was starting to...
Metabolism changes, but it doesn't have to.
Right.
Completely.
Well, I really empathize with a lot of parents of teenagers. You try to instill what is the correct way and a model healthy eating, but then there is certain things called a peer pressure.
Yeah.
They want to follow what their friends are eating. So hopefully, as they go past that stage, they remember what what are the very important principles of healthy eating.
Okay, so let's talk beef here. Healthy summer grilling.
Yes, nothing welcomes summer better than a wonderful barbecue with friends.
I am craving a hamburger right now, big juicy with cheese on it.
I would love your listeners to keep a few things in mind to enjoy the best of our barbecue and the best healthy barbecue. Number one, do not char your meats. It's not necessary to barbecue and to grill your meat at very, very high heat. Medium high will be around 375 degrees. Or if you hold your hand over the heat source for a second and you have to remove your hand, that's hot enough. Not necessary to be higher than that, because otherwise the charred meat can include harmful substance on the meat.
Yeah,
it's
they
not
say
necessary.
it's that. I love there's a way to prepare a steak with pepper, and you blacken the steak, but that's really not good for you. I mean, you really char it with pepper on it and seasonings, but that's just not good for you, I
So
guess.
2 things I would recommend. Nothing wrong with grilling a piece of ribeye, nothing wrong with that. But I would recommend choose leaner cuts and also trim off the excess fat, because the fat can get dripped into the flame, the open flame, and the open flame can char the meat further.
Yep.
Right.
So medium-high heat, trim off the excessive fat from the meat.
I heard you got to be careful of those not just the scrapers, but they have the bristles on the other side, like a brush.
Yeah, the metal things.
Those
they get
metal
in your
bristles,
system.
they'll fall off. There was a story that actually a woman consumed that, and it got caught in her digestive system, and it killed her.
Ooh, that can be quite dangerous.
So now we have to use aluminum foil to clean off our grill. You crumple it up, and I don't know. It's very hot on the hand, so I got to tell you, there's no hand.
I'm just like, it's hot enough. It'll burn off any bad
now,
stuff.
One more thing, too. Now, it's very tricky to observe portion size when you slap the big piece of steak. Nice and juicy, you want to eat it all.
Right.
But, observe portion size, cut down into the kebab size, and skewer with a nice variety of vegetables. Grilled pineapple is really, really delicious. Grilled watermelon, along with your lean cuts of top sirloin.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And there's also something about that people should consider as we're going into Memorial Day weekend. Hamburger. Hamburger meat, I'm told, correct me if I'm wrong, that you should always have your hamburger well done. And the reason is because the meat comes oftentimes from different cows. Unless you're buying from a farm where you know it's coming from one animal, they recommend that you have your hamburger well done. Is that true?
Your premise is absolutely correct, but the reason is a little different.
Okay.
You should absolutely keep it safe and savory at 160 degree, unlike a piece of steak. So I would always recommend 160 degrees well done. The reason is because all raw meat, chicken, fish, beef, you name it, tends to carry bacteria on the surface. So it's a big piece of roast. When you grill it, the heat will neutralize the pathogens on the surface. But ground meat get ground into the middle, so it's very hard for the heat to kill the pathogens in the middle. So you want to make sure that it reaches 160 degree, and that's across the board for a lot of for poultry as well.
My father was always a big what is it, kibbe? Is it?
Yes.
My father was always a big raw ground beef.
So how do you make sure that your meat is safe? How do you make sure that your hamburger reaches the safe temperature? What do you do?
Well, I look at it and say, I think it's about ready
It
now.
looks good.
Yeah, well, I know. Well, looking at it, poking at it, right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
feeling at it, or cutting it. No, use a meat thermometer. So
Even on hamburgers.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, even more so. So use your thermometer sideways into your hamburger patties. And then when it reaches 10 degree below 160, you can take it off.
Okay, 'cause
because it
it'll
will
continue to
carry
cook.
cooking for 10 degrees.
Okay.
Let it rest on a platter and then have a piece of foil loosely tent over it. Let it rise 10 degrees. You get your perfect 160 for
Okay.
well done.
So at 150,
Hamburger.
when
100
it's,
yeah, 150, then
150 you
remove
take
it.
it off and then
Right.
put a little tent on it. I got to tell you, that is not how I do it, but I guess I'll try. There's nothing worse than one of those hamburgers that's just been so dried out and burned up. That can't be good for you.
Hockey
There you
pucks.
go.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, well, it is that time of year. And I got to tell you, hot dogs, too. I do like hot dogs and beef and pork hot dogs, whatever it is that you're getting. They're still wonderfully delicious.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I enjoy a hot dog now.
Yeah.
And then, bite into the juicy hot dog and let it kind of burst in your mouth. Summer is about gathering with friends and enjoying things. So, number one, portion size and enjoy a variety of fruit and vegetables at the grill and practice safe grilling.
Manasseh. And by the way, Honest John's is my choice. The local hot dog.
Yep,
And
local
there's
support,
just
local economy.
Something about the taste of that hot dog I just love. So Honest John's brand. All right, anything else you want to add? You guys still can people sign up for your Wednesday that Gene sends out?
Yes, absolutely.
Because on Wednesdays, you're always kind of wondering, what am I going to have for dinner? And all of a sudden, this recipe pops up.
So many people don't know what they're going to cook for dinner at 4 o'clock. So sign up. Go to www.nybeef.org. You can get wonderful recipes and sign up for our What's for Dinner Wednesday. And also you can get tons of nutrition news as well.
All right. Well, listen, have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you, and same to you.
I think the weather is looking up right now. A couple of rainy days, but looking up. But,
I hope so.
All right. Cindy, thank you so much. And congratulations on your school board
Thank you. It's
election.
it's privilege.
Cindy Chan-Phillips from the New York Beef Council.